let's get right into it. Wrestling is one of the fastest growing sports right now, especially at the high school level. Here are my top 5 ways I feel like the sport can grow even faster. All right, number one, starting hot, we need to do something about the singlet situation. Yes. And I'm not saying get rid of singlets completely because I do think that it's kind of iconic, but we need to push for the two-piece as an option in every single school possible. Singlets are revealing. Let's be honest here. As a wrestler for over 10 years, after a while, yeah, you don't care anymore. You get used to it. But as someone from the outside looking in, there are so many people who have said, man, you know what? I would have wrestled if it wasn't for the singlets. And yes, that sounds silly as a wrestler, but they are revealing. If it's your first time, you're looking for a sport to do. All right, soccer looks cool, basketball, football. Oh, but wrestling, you gotta wear that tight singlet. That's just kind of weird. And yeah, that's a big turnoff for a lot of people. So getting rid of singlets, going for a two-piece could honestly help our sport grow a lot. Number two, we need less competitions at the youth level. Now, hear me out here. Yes, competition is a very important aspect of any sport, especially in wrestling. You put all that time in the practice room, working hard. Okay, you want to showcase your skills on the mat. Trust me, I get it. But at the youth level, we have way too much competition. These kids are getting hundreds of matches per year. Wrestling already has one of the highest burnout rates in all sports. By the time they get to middle school, high school, they're just done with the sport. Competition in wrestling is hard because taking a loss feels like the end of the world a lot of the time. And especially in these clubs, and unfortunately a lot of parents, they just don't teach their kid how to either lose correctly or win correctly, right? The stakes get way too high and kids just get overstressed out. We need to do less competitions at the youth level and just more fun stuff, more fun practices, right? We got to highlight the correct parts of wrestling that really make it fun because at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's supposed to be fun. All right, number three, we need more wrestling content creators. Yes. Now, Jordan, you're biased. You're a wrestling content creator for the most part. Of course, you're going to say that. But think about how many people have started wrestling just because of social media, right? And maybe it's not even a content creator they see necessarily, like they see a Jordan Burroughs at it, or a Kyle Dake, or a David Taylor, right? But I've seen so many kids and now have met a lot of kids who have said, hey, I saw a Caden Henschel video and he really inspired me to want to do this. Or I saw a whoever video, right? Social media is so important now to the fact that it just brings out the best in kids. Kids want to see the sport of wrestling from these content creators. We're always on our phones. We're always doom scrolling. We're always connected to social media in some shape, way, or form, right? So the more wrestling content creators, the more normalized wrestling's going to get. Number four, and this one's huge. Also, this isn't a ranking of which one's like the most important. I'm just naming all of them. But number four is we need to invest more resources and time into women's wrestling. Now, I've made a ton of videos on this, but women's wrestling is integral to the growth of our sport. For one, they save wrestling in the Olympics, they save wrestling at the world level, just because of their participation in all scenes, of all the wrestling scenes, really. But women's wrestling in particular at the high school level is the fastest growing sport in high school, right? So again, that's extremely influential to our growth, right? The more we can get a balance of female and male wrestlers in our sport, our population is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And so we need to put more money into fostering women's college programs, women's high school programs, to sanction it all over the country. There's no reason why it shouldn't be sanctioned. It's honestly silly to me that there's high schools out there or middle schools out there that don't have women's wrestling. It's like dumb. Like you wouldn't think that there's a high school that doesn't have men's football or something. Why is it the same thing for wrestling? So again, more resources, more time into women's wrestling. And then number five, last but not least, we need to find a system of creating open gyms for wrestling, right? Especially for adults. Now, I've made a couple of videos on this as well, but think about this. What combat sport's probably the most popular and the most accessible, right? It's probably Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? There are so many open gyms you can go to, right? Hey, you want to roll? And they have the cool belt system and all these things that just have this greater sense of community. Wrestling does not have that at all, unfortunately, right? You're done. Most people are done with wrestling after high school. That's it. And I think it's 5% of people going to college to wrestle. Okay, that's only 5%. Then after those guys are done, those guys aren't wrestling anymore. So literally, you put years and years and time and experiences and effort into a sport, but you just never get the chance to do it again. But again, for BJJ, I see people of all ages rolling at all these open gyms. Old people, young people, middle-aged people, college people. It does not matter. They have such a rich community that they have, honestly, for the rest of their lifetime in terms of just having a combat sport you can do still. Now, I understand the barriers that wrestling have. Like, wrestling is very intense, it's hard on the body. People don't see it as casual as BJJ. But honestly, I'd argue sometimes, especially, some of the submissions holds that could put some wear and tear on your body, honestly. But we got to find a way to make wrestling more casual and have that kind of open gym. I would love to start one. I just have no money. I'm broke. But I would love for there to be a culture change in the getting more open gyms for wrestling, make it more relaxed, especially at the kind of adult post high school career level. I think that'll bring a ton of more community to it and honestly just grow our sport even more. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please comment your thoughts on what you think will grow wrestling. Please argue with me. Points you thought I was wrong on, points you maybe agree with, anything, right? But again, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.